to my channel, everyone. For today's video, I did this beautiful purple eyeshadow. I used the Morphe and James Charles palette. Now, I wasn't lucky enough to get this palette. I think it released twice before this time that I got it. And I had been wanting to do a beautiful purple and like pink eye look, but I knew that I wanted to wait until I had this palette in my hands. And now I finally do. So yeah, let's get started. Now the first color that I'm going to go in with is going to be this purple shade right there. I'm going to apply this onto my crease. I'm going to bring it down into this outer corner here. Now I'm just going to keep going in there and applying more, but tapping my brush as I go in. Now I'm going to grab my Morphe M441 and I'm going to dip into this magenta color here. This magenta reminds me of like Blue's Clues, of the magenta. That was her name, right? The pink dog? It was magenta. I'm going to put this basically in my crease right above, or kind of like overlapping but not too much with the color that I just put in, because I'm going to use a different color to kind of smoke it out. I'm just kind of applying that color on. I'm not trying to blend it because I'm going to go in with a different brush and a different color to blend it all together. Now using a Morphe M513, I'm going to go in with this lighter shade of purple here. So all you're doing with this shade is really blending. I'm going to go back in with the first brush that I used to apply that initial dark purple, and I'm just going to add a bit more to this outer corner just because this one has a bit more, so I want to kind of even it out. Now I'm going to cut my crease and I'm going to use my LA Girl Pro concealer, but I don't want to apply too much of this concealer. I feel like sometimes I apply a bit too much, so I'm going to go in there very lightly with this. I'm using this Morphe M421 to just pat that concealer down and get it nice and even. If you're barely starting to kind of learn how to cut your crease, I think it's definitely better for you to go in very lightly with the concealer, because then if you apply too much, it's going to be harder to even it out and you're just going to keep going up and up and up when you're cutting your crease. Your crease is going to be like up here. So I recommend you kind of going in there slowly with just a little bit. Take some of this out. Like, that is entirely too much. I just want to get a little bit more of this concealer on there. Bring it down. I don't want too much, just a little bit. Alright, now the next color that I'm going to go in with is that second shade in the palette there. And I'm going to go in there with a flat brush. Now I'm not going to fully close it in there because I do want to apply that shimmery purple in there. So I'm going to do my next eye before I go in. Alright, you guys, now using a different brush. This is the Morphe M425. And I've mentioned this before in a different video, but I tried repurchasing this on Morphe's website and it wasn't there. So I don't know if it's like maybe that day it was temporarily out of stock or it's just gone forever, but that sucks if it is. And I'm just gonna wet the brush and I'm gonna go into this sparkly purple there, and I'm gonna add that to this outer corner here. I'm basically going to keep going in with that previous color and this shiny purple and just kind of try to blend it so that it doesn't look like there's any harsh lines. I'm going to grab a Morphe E10 and I'm kind of going to clean that up there. If you notice, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but it kind of transferred over. Now I'm going to grab that Morphe M514 brush, the one that we used to apply that dark purple. I'm going to go in and I'm going to just put it in my outer corner. Now again, going in with that sparkly shade, just kind of trying to blend it all together. Okay, we are done with our eyeshadow for now. I'm just going to apply some mascara, false lashes, and eyeliner, and I will be right back. Okay, now I'm just going to apply some primer. Where the fuck? No. I'm going to use the NYX Honey Do Me Up primer. It smells delicious. So I got this because I was testing out new products and I did a full face of drugstore makeup video, and I mentioned that I never use primer because I just don't feel like it does anything for me. So I'm kind of experimenting with this, trying to use it to see, but it also smells so good, so that's a big part of why I keep using it. For foundation, I'm going to use my Fenty Beauty foundation, and when I use this foundation, I usually just apply it first on just one half of my face, because for me it's a really drying foundation. So if I kind of put it all over my face and then I go in with the beauty blender, it like starts drying out really quick and I'm like, oh my god, and I don't feel like it looks good. I kind of have to go in like sections and do this. Now for concealer, I'm going to use the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, and I use the shade Light 14. I'm going to grab my mini sponge and I'm going to blend that in. I'm loving this purple, like, just look at how it kind of transitions. It's beautiful. It truly is beautiful. Now to set that concealer, I'm going to use the CoverGirl Clean Professional Translucent Powder, and I've been obsessed with this ever since I got it. I almost feel like I like it better than my other one. Now I'm just gonna let that be while I do my what is it called? Wow, what is it called? My contour and blush. And to just dust this off and finish up our eyes. Now I'm gonna use a Morphe E18. This is literally the only brush I really use to add some color to my lower lash line. Now I'm gonna go in with this light purple that I used. Now using a Morphe E43 brush, I'm gonna go in with the darker purple that we put into our crease. Now I basically pack that color onto my lower lash line, but as close as I can to my waterline. So not on the waterline, but basically where your eyelashes are, it kind of just goes in there. So as I'm putting it on, I can feel like my lashes. Now grabbing that previous brush, I'm just going to blend it out a bit. Now using that same color that I used on my lid, I'm going to use it to highlight my brow bone. This is usually, usually the colors that people put in their palettes right there in the beginning are to highlight your brow bone. But I was rebel and I wanted to use it on my crease. And I'm just putting very little bit of that. I am not adding it as much as I did on my crease. Now I'm just going to add some mascara to my lower lashes. Now for highlighter, I'm going to use my Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter in Molten Gold. And I forgot to mention, I used Third Eye, ColourPop's Third Eye for my lips. And I lined them with Morphe's lip pencil in Makeup Talk. And that pretty much wraps up my makeup for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this look.